Hi, it's Linda of Yam Stamps. In this video, I'm going to show you how I did this little technique around the edge of this card using some blending brushes and a silhouette stamp. The first thing I'm going to do is die cut my word. And I have a sheet of glimmer paper, rainbow glimmer paper, that I've applied some foam adhesive to the back. So I'm going to try and squeeze one more die cut out of here and still get some of the gradation in there. I usually find that it doesn't quite cut through cleanly, so you have to do a little working with it to get it out of the extra layers. The glimmer paper itself is a little on the thick side, and then of course you're adding the layer of the foam, so it tends to be a little finicky to get out, but it is doable. Just be careful that you don't manipulate it too much and sort of pull it too much out of shape. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I have half the liner on and half the liner off. So I will put this down carefully over here. Hopefully it won't stick too much to the surface there, and we'll carry on with the rest of the card. This is a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of cardstock, and I think I'm going to try and sort of coordinate some of the colors. So it looks like sort of a Coastal Cabana and maybe Granny Apple Green for this one. So I have a blending brush that I have cleaned, not very well, that is more of the blue tone. So I'm going to use that with the Coastal Cabana. And then with your blending brush, you want to start with the pressure off the cardstock and then move on to the cardstock. And it's always easier to add on than to remove, which is almost impossible. So start light pressure, and I like to go in circles. And I think I'm going to focus the Coastal Cabana sort of more on the left side of the card and on the edges. And I'm going to stay away from the right side. With the Granny Apple Green, I'm using my more green blending brush, and I'm going to go from the right to the left. And I'm kind of leaving a white spot there from where my sentiment will mostly go. I'm not going to put it on. I was going to show you, but I'm afraid it's going to stick, so I'm not going to do anything there. Now what I'm going to do is take my silhouette stamp, and I'm going to ink it up. I'm going to ink it in the Granny Apple Green first. I'm going to stamp it off a couple times so that I get just the very faint image. And I am re-inking it each time, because what happens when you have a partial image on a cardstock is that the ink gets taken off differently depending on where it touches the cardstock and where it doesn't. So then you can end up with a harsh line on your image if you just keep re-stamping without re-inking and sort of starting again. So there, and I think I'm going to do a few in Coastal Cabana too, so I'm just going to wipe off my stamp with my chamois, make it not too wet. Same thing, ink up my stamp and stamp off a few times, and then So you can see where it gives a very gentle texture. If you wanted, you could go over again with your blending brush and just add in some more ink to the background, which makes your silhouettes a little bit more pale. Keep my brushes in the right spots so I don't accidentally pick one up. And smooth it out a little bit more. There. This is a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock. I'm going to fold that in half to create my card base. Work in a not too inky spot if I can. So I match up my edges. And then use my bone folder. That's my cheater way if I don't score my cardstock ahead of time. So there's my card base. I'm going to put my cardstock on. And then I'm going to add my die cut word on the foam sheet. So peel off whatever adhesive is still there. And then you can manipulate the die cut if you want, or you can kind of keep it in its original shape. So I did try and match sort of the more bluey tones over to the left where the bluey tones on the die cut were. Finish it off, we'll just put a little bit of bling. So these are the iridescent rhinestones. So there's the finished card. It's really elegant, I think. Has a little bit of sparkle, so it's a great way to send a thank you card to somebody. Give the technique a try. Let me know how it turns out for you. I'd love to see the results.